Hey, what's up, everybody? Today's Friday. Hope you guys are having a good day and ready for the weekend. Just want to kick this video off real quick. I'm here in my backyard, you know, get it? Ty Lopez. Here in my backyard. Here's my pool. Here's my house. You want to listen to what I have to say here about getting rich, running a company or a business. Yeah, right. Anyways, I'll stop with the nonsense here. I just thought that was kind of funny. Um, yeah, today's video though, I want to talk about. I'm just out here cleaning the pool right now, and I figured I'd shoot a video because I've been thinking about this a lot just in the last couple days after I shot my last video, which was on cryptocurrencies, especially with like Bitcoin and trying to acquire Bitcoin for free through Bitcoin faucets. If you haven't watched that video, I'd highly recommend going back and watching it. I give you a lot of good information on there in regards to how those work. So, if you're watching this for the first time, go ahead and hit subscribe to the channel, and you can go ahead and check that out. But today's video, I'm not going to cover the faucets on Bitcoin. I want to cover just how powerful and the potential that there is in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies as a whole. Okay. I don't know if you guys read this just recently or if anybody is aware of this, but Microsoft and JP Morgan are teaming up, and they're going to be basically they want in on the action when it comes to the cryptocurrencies, especially because they're being more and more adopted throughout time. And one of the things that they've started doing is investing money in projects for developing API, which is application programming interface. And I'm familiar with some of this technology and the terminology here, just simply based off my background with IT. Okay. For those of you who don't know, I was a network engineer in my former career, and I decided to change careers. I just got burnt out on it and working for other people, in the IT realm. But that's besides the point. What an API, the application programming interface, does is it allows you to build applications, specifically applications like Snapchat, databases maybe that your company's using, stuff like that. Okay. Now, the interesting thing is there's a cryptocurrency out there called Ethereum. All right. And Ethereum's code, it's basically, it comes in second to Bitcoin, but it's different than Bitcoin because the code inside this currency can be manipulated and used to create applications through the API basically of that currency. All right. Now, this is important because, again, like I was saying, Microsoft and JP Morgan have teamed up and are now invested in 340 projects or something like that over the next year or 5 years. I don't know the exact number on how long this is going to take, but they're invested in these projects, and they're going to start building out the applications across the internet, which, some are going to work, some won't. But they're basically trying to build out the infrastructure for Ethereum so that it can be used on a more broad scale globally. Now, I find that very interesting because if that tells you anything, it tells you that the big banks know that they've got a problem right now. And that problem is that the system and the Ponzi scheme that they've been playing against people for the last 150 years is starting to come to an end. Okay. And so what better way than to get involved in something that they can't control because it's decentralized. It's on its own network, just like Bitcoin. And what better way to get involved with that somehow and see a piece of the action, okay? Because, again, like I said, their banking system is dying, and they know this. So they want to they're basically being forced into having to play with cryptocurrencies, whether they like it or not. Okay. And the other thing that I wanted to talk about real quick was the UN Security Council. All right. The UN Security Council has also come forward, and they're talking about possibly, joining in on the action and developing applications that could help. And this is with Ethereum. They want to build applications that could help third world countries have a stable currency or access to a safe currency that they could use in times of crisis, whether it be natural disasters or some financial crisis that takes hold of their country. Okay, so the fact that the UN's even looking into it, it tells me, basically, if you're wondering if it's too late to get into cryptocurrencies right now, I would have to say no, absolutely not. We're still in the infancy phase of cryptocurrencies as a whole, and who knows what's to come out, of all the development projects they're going to be doing. But I can tell you this, just knowing what I know about IT and the background with that technology, it'll evolve into something new roughly every 6 months. Okay, that's how fast it moves. So, with that in mind, simply put, the what's going to come out as far as the output on the back end of these projects, I think is going to be next to revolutionary when it comes to creating an infrastructure for a currency that could be used across the globe. Okay. Now, Ethereum right now is priced around like $180, so it's still having these volatile swings along with Bitcoin, and that's something you need to be aware of if you're looking at getting into some of these cryptocurrencies. Is that they're gonna be volatile. They're gonna go up and down, and they're gonna have massive swings. And part of the reason for this is because big banks and big corporations are starting to back it. Okay, you're going to get a lot of money flowing into these cryptocurrencies, and so therefore, the sky's the limit when it comes to how far up these things could go. What I can tell you though, just from looking at a few charts, over the past 5 years, is that when these currencies come down in price and they have their massive drops to kind of correct for the massive upward action that they're receiving, when they come down, they don't fall back down to where they were. They fall down at a higher low. Okay, so the trend, if you're looking at some of these charts over the past 5 years, the trend's upwards. So long term, what I'm saying here as an investor is, if you want to get into something right now that's going to give you some really good returns, I would highly suggest just taking a look at cryptocurrencies, learning more about them first, and then if you can understand them and you understand how they work, maybe take a small portion of money and throw it into that growth bucket that I've always talked about. I always say there's 3 buckets when it comes to your investing plan. So your first one is your security, your IRAs, 401ks, stuff that plays the old money system in the stock market. Okay, so you're still part of that system. That's bucket number 1. The second one was your growth. So this is where you look for growth investing opportunities, and I would put what I'm talking about here as far as the cryptocurrencies, I'd put these in the growth bucket, because yes, they're still high risk, but the returns on these could be massive. Okay, I'm talking like, well, for instance, Ethereum. Okay, it just in 2017 alone, the returns on Ethereum were over 2,000%, just in 2017 alone. Now, if you look at Bitcoin, the returns on that, since its introduction into cryptocurrencies and it, being invented, since its birth, Bitcoin has given better returns in 8 years than all the years combined that Berkshire Hathaway and Warren Buffett have received in 40 years. Okay, what else do you know that can give you those kind of returns? So if you're looking for some growth opportunities, that's where the smart money's going, along with, of course, your gold and silver. But this is what's taking place right now is a massive movement into safer alternative assets. Okay, now because these are digital currencies, they are money, and the beautiful thing about them is there's so many people who don't know anything about them. Like today, I had a conversation with a friend at the gym, and I asked him if he even knew what Bitcoin was. Okay, this guy's educated too. He's got a bachelor's degree in nursing, so he's no dummy. But he just looked at me and was like, "What is Bitcoin?" And so that's just an example of the fact that there's a whole lot of people out there who never even heard about it. And if they've heard about it, most of them don't understand it. So is it too late to get into cryptocurrencies? Absolutely not. I think, the sky's the limit as far as where this is going to go. And it'll be very interesting to see what happens with the projects and what, comes out of that on the back end here over the next few years when it comes to the investments from these major corporations like Microsoft and JP Morgan. Okay, stay tuned. I'll keep you up to date on this. Again, you're tuning in to howtoplaystock.com. These are today's investors' investing tips. And you guys have a good day, good weekend, and I will talk to you here soon.